Hi, I'm Not Yet Dead, and welcome to, well, the final and seventh and final part, perhaps, of our crop testing or crop value testing thing. So, it is the turn of the Poplar. Probably need to comment a few things here. Firstly, I'm using a very interesting trailer and a rather interesting setup. I'll put the mods in that I've used specifically for this because it's quite cool. That's by the by. So, poplars. What I have done is I used the modded poplar planter, which does 3 rows at once. But having done each set of 3 rows, I then went back and did it again, filling in the gaps. So I perhaps have slightly artificially completely filled the field, but it's doable. And if you wanted to maximize your value out of your crop from your field, why wouldn't you, right? I suppose at this point in time, that's all I've got to say. So let's get them harvested. Right, trailer's full. Let's get them unloaded and ready to go. So this is the new chip van trailer. It's new. It was new when I used it. That was a few weeks ago now, but yeah, the chip van seemed ideal. Good timing it had come out. Yeah, so that's one load. That's a 40,000 litre trailer. This is a 27,000 litre trailer, so it won't take long to fill it again. And then we'll need to find something else, because obviously we're going to have a lot more than 40,000 litres. So final line, first cut. So I'll get this unloaded and see how much we have. Just put that to one side. Okay, so first trailer is full, 40,000 litres. We've only got one wood chip sale point. So the price is what it is. It's not a bad price actually, but we don't have a lot of choice. So yeah, let's go see what we can get. Poplars are rather like sugarcane in that you leave them in, they will regrow. So we'll do that again as we did with the sugarcane and see if a second harvest actually impacts yield at all, and see how we get on with it. But here we go, first unload. There's our 40,000 litres, that's 18,000 euros. The second trailer is slightly bigger than this one and is fuller. It contains more. It isn't fuller because it's not full, but it contains more than 40,000 litres. So we'll jump in a second. It'll tell us how much we've got. Park that there. Yeah. Good. So then 58,719. So we've actually got a total of 98,719, which is pretty impressive. Though again, did I cheat? I don't know. I filled the field. Judge that as you will. It was a maxed out field. If you just left a worker to plant up a poplar field, you wouldn't have anywhere near this quantity. You'd probably have about half actually. But you know, we're all about maximising yields and seeing what the crop is really worth, and any other field would be absolutely rammed full. So you know what? That's what we've done. Okay, so how much are we talking? Takes a wee while to unload. Talking about shelves, there we go, 27,000. So that was a total yield here. We said 98,719 and 46,392 euros. So pretty good. So the results are in. And while we start on the second harvest of our poplars, which, you know, like I always say, before I planted them, it was limed if it needed it. It was ploughed. There's had 2 lots of fertilisation. There's no weeds, etc. This obviously I haven't re-ploughed it, and actually once you've got 1 harvest of poplars done, it shows you as it needing ploughing. It hasn't had that done because I've not taken the crop out. That would make the test a bit pointless if I did. But it has of course had 2 layers of fertilisation. So here we are again. Anyway, we'll see where this gets to. So that's all our crops. So let's see, where did we get? So wheat, I'm not going to worry about volumes, it's more about value this. Wheat we got 14,713 euros. Barley we got 16,323. Oats we got 14,577. I should say for those 3 crops I did also sell the straw, so this of course does have an impact, but when we're talking about maximising value here, obviously if you decided to use the straw, well that's kind of why you're planting the crop to start with, right? So then canola 11,797, surprisingly low. Corn 15,615, but to be fair, that was quite a high price, and I did note that it was a high price, so maybe that was slightly inflated. Soybeans 11,006 euros, which was a low price, but it does go to show actually, you know, you get much less soybean. We got 5,500 litres of soybean to 7,000 litres of canola. So soybean price is normally higher, but is it enough higher to actually make it? Everybody says soybean is the most valuable crop. Maybe the most valuable crop, but that all depends on how much you get out of your field. Sunflowers 13,906, again actually more than the canola, and I didn't note a different price then. So that's all the sort of standard crops, if you like, crops that you would normally harvest with a standard harvester. And actually the barley came out the most valuable. That is of course, as I said, including the straw. The corn might be a bit of an outlier, that was second, but maybe that was a too high a price. After that it was actually wheat then oats. So oats, yeah, it's generally more valuable, but the yield of oats is much lower than we had for both the barley and the wheat. So again, don't always look at the price and just think, oh, that's great. And then moving on, so sunflowers was quite high, surprisingly so actually, but soybeans and canola actually across all of those came out the lowest, but that is including selling the straw. So moving on, sugar beet 25,587 euros, cotton 21,240 euros, potatoes 25,833 euros. So of those three, cotton actually surprisingly lowest, but actually the problem with these of course is yes, you get much more value for them, but you always have to have specialist equipment, not to plant necessarily, but certainly to harvest. So you've got to factor that in, but they are significantly higher, and I was surprised actually that sugar beet and potatoes weren't that different. The thing about the sugar beet and the potatoes was the yield was much higher for the sugar beet, but the price is actually slightly less. Sugar cane, 126,000 litres, 44,000 euros. So by far the most valuable crop, but as we all know, it's not an easy crop to manage. It's difficult to plant, takes a lot of work, and not so easy to harvest. Second harvest of the sugar cane, we actually got 131,000 litres, so actually slightly more than the first harvest, which seems a bit odd. And then our poplars, so we've got 46,392 euros. So interestingly enough, for an area of field, our poplars came out the highest. Now the slight challenge with that of course is that I did kind of pack the field, but it just goes to show if you pack the field you can get good value out of them. I also think the price at 400 and whatever it was is maybe higher than you might normally expect, but it was the only one I had on here. And of course the prices will vary by map, right? So you've also got to factor that in. But on no man's land, this is what they're worth. And so surprisingly perhaps poplar is our most valuable crop from a single field, and sugarcane second. But yeah, so interesting results. I think the most interesting for me is actually the barley. That the barley was the most valuable out of all of the standard crops. I was stunned by, but it just goes to show, obviously prices can go up as well as down, so there is some variety here, but I thought it was an interesting test. And the yields are interesting, but of course it's the value of what you get from a single field that is of real interest. But there you go. I hope you found this useful. It was just something I fancied doing, that was all. And while we sell off the rest of our wood chips, I hope you found it useful. Likes and subscriptions are very much appreciated. We are at the end of our crop test, which now means that no man's land can move on to normal farming. So I hope I'll see you back on no man's land when hopefully I'll be able to start streaming it very soon. In the meantime, check out some of my other videos. I'm doing some time-lapse stuff both on Ellen Grapp now and also on 6 Ashes as my vlog series, and I hope you get a chance to check those out. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now. Haha, me again. I just reviewed all that and then realised I didn't actually tell you how much I got second time round. So I'm back. I didn't fancy re-recording all of that talking all again. So as we talked about, the first harvest of the poplars was 98,719. This second harvest, this is now the third load of the trailer, was actually 97,518. So about 1,000, just over 1,000 actually litres less, which is different to what we got for the sugarcane. I am going to do another harvest out of it, so we'll see what comes out of that, and I'll mention that at some point in the future, but I just thought it was worth mentioning, but still pretty high. Anyway, that's it. I am now done. Thank you again for watching. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.